Well, today is World Prematurity Day, a time to focus on our littlest Aussie battlers and their anxious families. 27,000 babies are born too early in Australia each year, creating a sudden and traumatic challenge for their parents.
While the babies get the vital care they need in hospital, their parents often face a financial battle, using up their parental leave before their precious little bundle of joy is well enough to go home. So today, experts in preterm birth are trying to change all that, launching a campaign for extended parental leave when babies arrive too soon.
Sounds pretty simple, doesn't it? Just let them have extra time. Well, Natasha Langdon and Adam Yang are at home in Melbourne with their gorgeous bub, Holly, who's now 15 months old, and Professor Alicia Spittle, who is a neonatal researcher involved in the campaign. And welcome to you all. It's so lovely to see you. Natasha, we'll start with you. I just cannot imagine what you went through. It is difficult enough to have a baby. You went into labour at 27 weeks, so 13 weeks premature. I mean, it must have just been the most enormous shock.
It was a huge shock. Up until then, the pregnancy had been really smooth, and then all of a sudden I had a doctor telling me that I was in labour. With 3 months to go, we didn't have a room ready or any clothes or anything like that. But it all turned out okay. She ended up spending 11 weeks in hospital, and then she came home.
She's absolutely gorgeous. Adam, can you believe we're just seeing the video now? It is so powerful. The video of you holding her hand. Can you believe just how far you've come since that time?
Yeah, in the first month, I couldn't even give a cuddle properly because of all the tubes. And we had to decrease a meal to 1 meal because she couldn't handle anymore. But now, she's strong and healthy, and every day is a happy miracle.
Look at her. She's so gorgeous. Isn't it just extraordinary what medicine can do? Alicia, you see cases of parents doing it tough like Natasha and Adam all the time. Let's talk about this extended parental leave help for families, because they still have a baby in hospital. Often the mother is still expressing milk and they need someone with them. So therefore, at least one parent can't go back to work.
Absolutely. And so we're calling on the government to review their current paid parental leave legislation, and we want them to increase paid parental leave by 1 week per week that babies are born preterm. Having a baby, as you said, is so exciting, but if you have a baby born preterm, there's that mixed emotions of excitement with fear, anxiety and stress, and worry about the baby's health outcomes. So what we want the government to do is increase paid parental leave so that families can spend more time with their babies, not only in the hospital, but when they go home as well.
Because that's the thing, isn't it? Usually parental leave, you're taking that when you're at home, but it's like you still need that same amount of time once you get home, you know, whether that be 6 or 12 months or longer.
Absolutely. So at the moment, the paid parental leave is only 18 weeks. And so if you have a baby who's born preterm, and such as the case we've just heard about, if you spend 11 weeks in hospital, then once you've gone home, you've only got a small amount of time of paid parental leave. So we want the government to really increase that paid parental leave so that we're spending equal amounts of important time with the babies in hospital, because it's such a stressful time for families and they need to be with their babies. But also, as you say, once they go home too. And it's not just mothers that we need to think about, it's also fathers and partners, that both parents, when they can spend time with the family.
Oh, it's such a sensible scheme. It makes so much sense. Natasha, could I ask you, 1 week's extra parental leave for each week that the baby is premature, is that the sort of change that you think would be reasonable, something you would support?
It certainly would help. I was lucky in that I had an employer that was very flexible and supportive throughout the process, but we were financially hurt by the government having such strict legislation that didn't accommodate for our unique situation.
Because Holly's doing extraordinarily well. I can only imagine how long she was sitting there for before we even came to you. So Adam, just in terms of a financial burden, can you appreciate, you know, for everybody who's in this situation, the stress that's there, and how much would that extra financial assistance have helped you?
Oh, I couldn't hear the problem.
It would actually be a really big help. Certainly, because in our case we didn't get any of the paid parental leave from the government, so that was the whole 18 weeks worth that we missed out on, which made an already difficult time a lot more difficult.
To make, it's just so wonderful to see how that story has ended for both of you, and it is such a sensible call, isn't it, to support families in that way.
That just sounds like such a no-brainer. Holly, you've done so well. You are absolutely delightful and so gorgeous. Adam and Natasha, congratulations to you. I can imagine that it's been a difficult road, but now smooth sailing with a normal toddler. How gorgeous. And Alicia, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you. I just wanted to add too that we know from work by the Miracle Babies Foundation that 83% of families are facing financial stress, so it is really important that we support this cause for them.
Thank you very much to everyone this morning. And buildings around Australia will be lit with purple lights tonight to promote awareness of World Prematurity Day.
And hello to all of the preemie babies there out there. We know that they grow up to be beautiful, healthy kids.